Uber just dropped the rates in San Francisco, and it's over, guys. What up, internet world? It's your boy Jermaine, back with another video. Now, we gotta talk about this here. Uber driving is pretty much, it's dying out. Now, it's not exactly dead, but different drivers are getting completely different offers. And I believe I have a reason why the rates just dropped so much. So hear me out here. About a year ago, I would go out in the mornings at 7 a.m. from 7 to 10. I would make anywhere from $80 to $120. Usually I would make around 100, 95, maybe 105, maybe 100, but it was usually right around that number. 3 hours of driving, rush hour in the mornings, okay? It's pretty busy. How my mornings would start off is I would go to the app and I would accept a ride, and the ride I would accept would be maybe $8 to like $25. $8 if it's going like in the city, $25 if it's going like to the airport, okay? In the past 2 months, I started noticing this 2 months ago, how airport rides that used to be $20 or $25 are now like $13 and $12. I even seen one airport ride, it was for like $7.80 or something. And I was on the other side of the city and I saw, Bayview, and it was like $7.80, and I'm thinking, bro, who's driving that far for $7? It's not even worth driving that far. Like driving on the freeway, you might get your windshield cracked driving behind another car, and you're doing it for an airport ride for $7. Like it's ridiculous. $8, there's no money anymore, right? So what I began to do was, now I go out and work. Instead of me accepting a decent ride, and I'm talking about before I would accept a decent ride quick. I'm talking about sometimes before I leave the house, I already got a ride on my phone and I'm walking to the car and I'm starting the car because I already got a good ride. It's never like that now. It is never like that. I will get in the car and I will drive for 20 minutes. And sometimes there's no requests coming in. Sometimes there's like 15 requests coming in, but every single request is so low. For example, I'm in the marina and they want me to go all the way to the airport for $14 at 7:30 in the morning. $14 at 7:30 in the morning. It would probably take me about 30 to 40 minutes to drive there. Okay. Now there's no guarantee I'm going to get a ride back. That's the whole thing about going to the airport. That's why if you get an airport ride for $30, it's worth it, because if you don't get a ride back, at least you made enough money to get back, because the airport is usually about 14 miles. So if you get a ride that's $30, you drive 14 miles, and then let's say you don't pick someone up, you drive back. Well, at least you've covered your mileage that you drove. Okay. Now, if you go down to the airport for $30 and then you come back with somebody in the car, like that's just free game, But I kind of stopped going to the airport a while ago because I noticed that like when I would go to the airport, like I would never ever pick up anyone else, or like it would just be so rare that I would pick up anyone else. So I just kind of stopped accepting airport rides. And for me to accept an airport ride, they have to give me a decent airport ride for me to go down there, because I'm not going down there for $12, And if you're a driver and you're driving Uber and you're driving to the airport for $12, I'm going to tell you something. You are simply not making money. And I'm going to give you the full breakdown of why. This is so simple. If you take a $12 trip to the airport and the airport is 14 miles, well, the IRS gives you 60 cents a mile in deductions. So after you subtract the 60 cents times the 14, see how much money you're left with. You're not left with basically anything. And that money that they're giving you, the deduction, is the money you need to operate the car, right? You got to put gas in it. You got to have tires, you got oil change, right? So basically, when they give you that $12, like you're not keeping all of that $12 because it's got to go to keep the car up, right? So some of these rides are simply, they're just not profitable. Like it's just not worth to accept. You would be better just not moving. Like sometimes I will cut the app on and every single offer is $4. you know, 440, 480, you know, 490. It's not even $5. Now, there is a strategy with offers that low. The strategy is if they're really short, okay? For example, if you are in Union Square and you're parked and you accept a ride and it's 2 blocks away, okay? So it's 0.2 miles to get there. Let's say the person only wants to go 1 mile, okay? They want to go 10 blocks. Well, you kind of made money on that one, right? Because you drove you didn't even drive a mile and a half and you got $5, right? You kind of made some little money on that, okay? But you have to keep doing that over and over and over. And every time that you accept a $5 ride, the person is not going to be 0.2 miles away. Usually the person could be, you know, 1 mile away, 2 miles away, and then they only want to go 1 mile. Or a person could be 2 miles away and then they want to go 2 miles and then you just got $5, but you just put 4 miles on your car, you know? So I don't know exactly how Uber pays out people, but I do have some sort of dirty information. I was over at the electric chargers recently, and sometimes when you go to these EV chargers, sometimes drivers be talking, okay? So I was talking to drivers and I was like, hey, has it been slow for you? And one dude in a Tesla that he owned told me, yeah, it's been pretty slow. Like, you know, this time of year is usually like that. And I told him, I said, well, usually when school gets back in, like things fill up, like things are busier. And he was like, no, it hasn't been busy. You know, school's been back in for a couple weeks and it still hasn't been busy. Well, another guy overheard us saying that it was slow, okay? Well, he disagreed with us. He walked up and said, wait, let me tell y'all something here. I rented this car through, I think he said Avis or Hertz. I can't exactly remember which one, but it's either one of those. So I rented this car through Avis, and I've made X amount of money this week already. And it was like a Wednesday, and he showed us his account on a Wednesday, and he was at, I think it was at like $900 on a Wednesday. And I was just looking at my phone, you know, on a Wednesday, I was at like, you know, maybe, I mean, not even $300, you know, because like I say, it's been really slow, right? He goes along to tell me that, oh, well, this is an EV I rented. I rented a gasoline car before this EV. When I rented that gasoline car, I wasn't getting many offers. I was only making about $100 a day. And I was, you know, driving. I was in the car, you know, 6 or 7 hours a day, but I was only getting about $100. I took the rental car back, switched it for this other rental car, EV. And now, on a Monday and a Tuesday, that fool made $400. And I started to think to myself, well, when you rent those cars through Uber, I'm pretty sure Uber probably gets a cut of the money that you pay the rental car company. So if that's the case, that means that Uber will probably make sure that you have more rides coming your way so you can keep paying for the rental so they can keep getting a cut out of that rental, right? Because I own my car. So it's not like it's not like they're making money off of my car, you know, but this other person that is renting a car, like Uber is literally making money off of them renting the car and off of them driving the people around. You know, you drive this person to the airport, the person pays Uber $50, Uber gives the driver $25, you know? So I'm just thinking, well, dang, this is kind of messed up because I bought this car like to do Uber with, and now they're just making it like incredibly hard to make money because they're not giving me like offers. And it's not just me, it's a lot of drivers having this problem, okay? And a lot of people are just blaming it on the economy. They're like, oh yeah, it's the economy, it's because of the Trump tariffs. And I'm thinking, Trump tariffs, what's that got to do with Uber driving? You know, people will blame everything on current events, but at the end of the day, I don't think this has anything to do with the economy. I think it has something to do with Uber's algorithm and how maybe they're just doing different things with different drivers. So you might want to know, what about the scores and the ratings? These are drivers with high ratings, with high drive scores. Another thing with Uber, when you drive Uber, you have this drive score. So if you slam on the brakes a lot or if you swerve a lot, it'll ding you, you know, and it'll show you a score. And if this score is too high, if the score is too low, well, you won't get as many offers. Well, I got a really good score. So it's not like I'm, you know, a bad, scary driver. It's just really, really slow. Now, if you watch this much of the video, because I take it most people don't watch the whole video, but I'm going to tell y'all what I think is going on. And this is not a conspiracy theory. It's out here. This is just what I think from what I've been noticing online. I believe what has happened with the Uber rates is because of Waymo, Zoox, and Tesla, okay? I think these three companies is why Uber has greatly lowered their rates. Now, in Texas, in Austin, when Waymo came around, Uber drivers noticed that, hey, our rates got lower. Like, the money that we're making less money, okay? Now, that was Waymo. And then when Tesla came around, drivers were just saying, no, this is getting really bad. So what's going on with Tesla, right? Because a lot of people don't take Tesla seriously. I'm a huge Tesla fanboy, but the whole Robotaxi, I wasn't really taking it serious until I start to see all these videos come out of people in Austin taking the Tesla Robotaxi, right? There's someone in the passenger seat, but there's no one in the driver's seat, and the car is driving itself, okay? Well, a couple weeks ago, Tesla rolled out in the Bay Area the Robotaxi for the Bay Area. And this is when this here I think is our biggest problem. The Tesla Robotaxi. It has rolled out, and if you download the Tesla Robotaxi app, you can get on the waiting list. Right before I parked to make this video, I saw a Tesla Robotaxi driving. Basically, you can tell it's a Robotaxi because it has the TCP numbers on the back. I was thinking that maybe it would have like a manufacturer license plate or something like that. That would be another way to give it away. But it doesn't have a manufacturer license plate. It has a regular California license plate. It also does not have the stickers on the side that says Robotaxi like it does in Austin. So when you see this Tesla driving, you might just think it's like an Uber because it's got like the TCP stickers on the back, just like the black SUVs do. And you would just probably not even think it's a Robotaxi. You might just literally think it's an Uber because in California, the driver has to be in the seat. The safety person has to be in the driver's seat. Kind of like it was when Waymo first launched their autonomous program. You know, you could take rides with Waymo, but it was a driver in the driver's seat, right? But the driver wasn't touching the wheel. The car was driving itself. Well, Tesla's doing that now. I kind of started paying attention to this a couple days ago. I was riding a bike in traffic, and I remember rolling up on this Tesla, and I saw that the person in the car did not have their hands on the steering wheel, but the car was moving. And then I just put two and two together, like, oh, that's the Robotaxi. And then come to find out right after that, videos started to pop up of people in San Francisco taking the Tesla Robotaxi. Yeah. And the cost of the Tesla Robotaxi was just incredibly cheap. There's no way Uber's going to be able to compete with this. I will link this video. There's a guy in San Francisco that took one. I think he took it from Dolores Park. I think he went from Dolores Park to Fisherman's Wharf. And it was like traffic, like it was in the daytime. And he only paid $9. He paid $9. That's how much money he gave for the whole ride. Now, you already know if you were going to take an Uber from Fisherman's Wharf to Dolores Park, in traffic, it might be anywhere from $20 to $25, right? But then how much money would the driver get out of that? Because that's like a 30-minute drive. It's not like you can give the driver $9 for a 30-minute drive. Well, that actually sounds like the new rates that they're paying. But I remember like a year ago, a ride like that, you'd probably get like at least $15. The driver would get $15. This person just paid $9 to get all the way from Dolores Park to Fisherman's Wharf. Now, a lot of people are already saying, well, that's what they're doing that now. Tesla's going to have the prices really cheap now, and then they're going to increase the prices later. If they have the prices that cheap now, they're going to drive out all of these human drivers, I'm telling you. Because no one can compete with that price. Especially if there's no one driving the car. No one can compete with that price. I'm telling you, no one can. And my guess is with Uber, they're just going to keep lowering the rates and keep lowering the rates. Now, that is one theory that's going on with Uber. There's another theory I've been hearing too. Now, I don't know about this one either. That's why I'm making this video, to just put this out here, because I make videos like this and I share stuff and people always tell me things. I see people in the street. I see people like out, like in the Castro. I see people around the city and people are like, hey, I saw this video and blah, blah, blah. So the next thing I've been hearing that could be what's going on with Uber driving, which I don't think this is it, because I just don't think this is it. But this is rumor, like the women drivers are getting a lot more rides. Okay. This could be true for a few women drivers. This could be true. But for the most part, I don't necessarily know if I would just run with this, because I don't see a lot of women drivers driving Uber. Bottom line, I don't. Now, if I was sitting here at this block and I see, women dropping off and then women picking up, and I constantly see women driving around, and I don't see that. Okay, ever since they rolled out this whole like women drivers thing, I haven't noticed any more women drivers coming on or off, right? Now, I imagine at night that might be different. You might have more women coming out driving at night. And at night, I don't really notice it as much as I do in the daytime. But that's just another theory I've been hearing. But like I said, I don't think the women are taking over that much. Because if it was, I feel like more guys would notice, and it would be more of a thing. Like, people would be talking about it. I think the real elephant in the room are the self-driving cars, right? Self-driving cars. And you got Waymo. They got like 100 cars on the road. Waymo is looking to expand, y'all. Like they are. They're not done. They want to add more cars to San Francisco. So when they add more cars to San Francisco, that's gonna take away from the drivers, bro. Like it is. It's gonna be less rides to pick up. When they add more cars, this is gonna be a double-edged sword, because people are gonna want to take Waymo. Like, bottom line. Like, I would much rather take Waymo than get into a car with another human. And I drive for Uber today. Okay? And I tell passengers that. Like, if they ask me, I'm like, yeah, I would much rather take Waymo than Uber. And, to some people, they're kind of like, oh, you're kind of crazy. But at the same time, I also like the fact that I like the technology. I like it. I think it's amazing. So you got Waymo expanding. We also have Zoox. So 2 days ago, Zoox just became the first company to offer fully autonomous rides with no steering wheel and no pedals in Nevada. Right now, you can go to Vegas, you can get on a plane, you can take Zoox, no driver, okay? That's game changer, bro. That's game changer. And Zoox has been testing in San Francisco for years. It's just a matter of time before they go online with their Robotaxi. And the word on the street with their Robotaxi is they're going to go online with it, they say December or January, sometime towards the end of the year. That's going to take away more rides. And once again, if Tesla succeeds, that's going to take away more rides. Guys, it's getting crazy out here. Like, it really is. It really is. I mean, I remember I used to make $1,500 a week with Uber. Bro, you can't even make like half of that now in the same amount of time. And I used to make $1,500 a week, and that's driving Monday through Friday and not driving on the weekends. You know? It ain't like that no more, man. It is not like that at all now. Like, you can, some days, like, I'll be in the car, like, in the mornings at 7, from 7 to 10, I'll make $35. Yeah, some mornings, like, you just parked on the side of the road the whole time, and then it's not just you. You see other drivers parked on the side of the road. It's changing, yo. This game is changing. Like, right now, do not buy a new car, bro. Like, do not buy a new car. If these autonomous vehicles keep rolling out, you're not going to need a car, dude. You're not going to need a car. You can just get picked up. It's crazy that it's moving this fast. But here we are. It's really moving this fast. I would love to know what you guys think about this video. If you are an Uber driver in the Bay Area, how are your earnings being affected? If you are a Uber driver in other cities, I know Atlanta has a lot of autonomous vehicles driving. Nashville has a lot of autonomous vehicles. How are things changing in your markets? Are things getting worse? Are they slowing down? I mean, I would love to know what you guys have to say about this one. Like, let me know down in the comments below. But it's getting crazy out here, y'all. It is getting crazy out here. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye. Stay safe. Ow.